What's up, minifigs? Today we are celebrating the series finale of The Bad Batch by reviewing one of the only sets made based off of the show. This is set number 75314, The Bad Batch Attack Shuttle. It has 969 pieces. It was released back in August of 2021 and retired in December of 2022. It retailed for $100 in the United States, and for that $100, you are getting the main Bad Batch Shuttle here. You will getting 6 minifigures as well as 2 big speeder builds. We're going to go ahead and start, like we typically do, with our minifigures. Now, our first minifigure is not exclusive to the set. However, it is arguably the most important. We have the Holy Gonk droid, which is, I believe, the same build that they've used a couple times for the Gonk droid. This one is nicknamed Gonky in the show. It has a great build. The only issue is that I believe in the show, Gonky is more of a tan color, but they've gone with more of a gray color here, which it's all right. It doesn't affect it too much. It's not quite the right color, but I think it still looks great as just a small Gonk droid build. I really appreciate having Gonky here. It feels right having him in the set. Going into the members of the Bad Batch, our first minifigure up is Hunter. He has some amazing silver printing all throughout the minifigure. The leg printing and toe printing is very nice. Very reflective printing on him. The colors all feel great. The back printing has his backpack there. I will say it's very disappointing for most of the Bad Batch figures that we did not get brick-built backpacks. We just got prints. I think that would have enhanced all of the figures a great deal to get backpack builds. He has 2 little knives here. That's one of his weapons of choice in the show. Going ahead, we'll remove his helmet. And there's his face print. He's got the tattoo on one side of his face, as well as his bandana with the skull. Going on to the back, we have more of an angry expression here. And he does include a hairpiece, just like that, to frame it up. And I think the hairpiece does a pretty good job of depicting the figure. I think, rotate that around. I think this is a great figure. And considering that we've only ever gotten him in 2 sets, I think it's great to have him here. Obviously, you would have Hunter in a set with the Bad Batch. Our next minifigure up is Wrecker. Wrecker actually has the exact same torso and leg printing as Hunter. I think the leg printing obviously still looks great for him, and the torso printing is actually just covered up by this nice bulky armor piece. They give that to him so that way he can kind of... He's a bit more of a bulkier character in the show, but he's also taller, and that does a great job at just pushing him a little bit above the height of the other figures. He has on the side of each of the shoulders, he has the 99 printed along with the skull. He's got just a small blaster there, and he has some very nice printing on the helmet. The white stands out very well. A lot of the time with Lego sets, you will get printing on white or printing white on another color. The white will not stand out as much, but it looks fantastic on this figure here. Removing the helmet, we have some pretty accurate face printing. He's got stubble going across. He has the one blind eye, as well as the scarring on the side of his head, and no printing on the back. This is an amazing figure. They did a great job with him. Next up, we have Echo. Echo has got the same silver coloring as his brothers in the Bad Batch. He's got a printed backpack once again. He does have arm printing on one arm, which looks great. They did not give him any sort of mechanical hand like he has in the show. He just has a different colored hand as well as some of that nice arm printing, which I think they did the best they could. I think it looks good. I think they could have done more, but I don't dislike it. I think it still works. He has some very nice torso printing in the corner there. You have a skull, just like the rest of the Bad Batch. He also has some nice leg printing, as well as a printed comma, which is kind of like the skirt that goes around the legs. It's just printed here. It is not a physical waist cape, which is too bad. It makes sense not to give it to him in that it would maybe get in the way of him sitting down in the shuttle. It's a little disappointing, but I think the printing still does an adequate job. He has a very nice helmet printing. It's very accurate to what you get in the show. Removing the helmet, you have his face. He's very solemn looking, and he has very accurate printing all the way around. He's got the cybernetics on the back of his head, and honestly, it's fantastic. They didn't do anything special with this helmet in the show. It kind of removes with leaving this behind, and it's part of the helmet. They weren't able to do that, but I think that's okay. I think that would have been a bit too much to ask for. I think this is a great looking figure. Crosshair is our next minifigure. This is the Imperial version of Crosshair. We have not gotten Crosshair in the Bad Batch uniform yet, which is a bit unfortunate, but this set came out when the show first came out, and he had the Imperial armor here for most of the show, so it makes sense to have him in it. It's got just solid black figure, but it's got some very nice printing. The white on black, I think, looks great to kind of show the details. It's a little tough to make out, but I think it still does a good job. Over on the back, you've got, once again, the printed backpack. He has a sniper rifle, just because that is his weapon of choice, and I love the green printing on the visor. It really stands out, and I think it just looks great. Removing the helmet, we once again have very accurate face printing with his little tattoo around his eye, and again, great figure. I think the only thing that could have made it better is if they included a hairpiece. At the start of the show, he did have gray hair, which he did lose his hair throughout the show, but at the start of the show he had hair. It's too bad they didn't include it here. Still, very nice fig. Our most intricate figure is going to be Tech, the final member of the Bad Batch. He's got some amazing printing. The torso printing as well as the leg printing looks amazing. I love when the belt follows through, the brown straps go through onto the legs, which looks great. 2 blasters, and unlike the other members of the Bad Batch, he has a printed backpack, but it is printed onto a brick-built backpack. He's got the small print there, but it is brick-built, and it looks fantastic with the antenna coming off the back. It looks great. They really should have done this with the other ones. I think it would have made all of them a lot better. He has, obviously, the crazy big helmet mold. The other Bad Batch members, their helmets are just existing helmets with new prints. They gave Tech his own mold, which I think was very necessary, and it looks great. You've got printing all over it. The visor in front does not move up and down like it does in the show, but I think it would have been tough to figure out how to do that. I know I couldn't. So I'm very happy with what we get here. Taking the helmet off, we have his goggles right there with more of a serious expression, and on the back, he's got more of a curious look with the eyebrow raised, and he does include a hairpiece, kind of frame it up. I think the hairpiece is decently accurate. I think it does a pretty good job. We'll also go ahead and remove the backpack just so that we can get a look at the back printing, which is just like that. And yeah, I think it looks great. We'll go ahead and move on to some of our builds. Our 2 side builds in the set are both speeders. We have just a normal speeder here that's just like a civilian speeder, and this is a Imperial Bark speeder. We'll go ahead and start with this one. You have the nice gray and black color scheme running all the way through. It is pretty big, but I think it looks great. You have a few stickers, 1 right here, as well as 3 all along the back that look really great if you line them all up to get kind of the continuous look going through it. You have 2 stud shooters on the front here. We will test fire. That is how they work, and they're great just for having fun with them. You have room for Crosshair to sit in the blue, kind of navy blue seat right up here, and you are able to put the kind of controls in his hands. And there's also a clip right here so that you can put his blaster on, and he can kind of bring that with him. And yeah, I think this is a great little speeder build. I think it looks good. The more unique speeder, as we have seen kind of that build for the Bark speeder before, this is just a kind of civilian speeder that they use in one episode, you've got a very nice lime green color scheme. I think it just stands out so much. It looks great. 2 stickers here and here to kind of give it a nice look and a pattern to it. And you have room for 1 figure. They kind of show off, I believe, Tech using this. In the show, it's Hunter. In the box, they show off Tech. You can just kind of stick him on there. And if you remove his blasters, you are not actually able to get the handles kind of in his hands, which I think is a little disappointing. I love when you can actually attach the hands on the speeders, but you cannot with this one, which is okay. I'm not a fan, but still good. Still good speeder build. You also have a clip here on the back to put any accessories like his blasters. So yeah, you have 2 small speeders here. They don't do too much to add to the shuttle itself, but it is nice that we get them. A lot of people, when this set first came out, said they wished that the speeders had been gotten removed and they used those pieces to beef up the Bad Batch shuttle to make it a bit bigger, but I'm still okay with having the speeders here. Here is our main build for the Bad Batch shuttle, or as it's known in universe as the Havoc Marauder. LEGO decided to go with a what's called sand blue color for the shuttle as the main color throughout. And a lot of other companies went with gray and black when it came to making this ship as a toy. And I think both can be viewed as accurate. There are definitely some shots in the show where it looks more of a blue color than black or gray all the way through. Plus, it helps the ship stand out a lot more amongst a lot of the other Star Wars ships that are just gray and black and light gray. So I still appreciate it for what it is. And again, there are some shots in the show that where it definitely does look more of this blue color. We have a printed canopy piece right here for the cockpit with red to kind of visualize the windscreen. And it would have been tough to do this with stickers, so I'm glad that it's nice and printed. You have, throughout the ship, some lights right here on the tip of the fin, and also on both of the wingtips here and here, which I think is once again a nice way to break up the color. The wings fold down just like this, kind of notched. The wingspan of the ship really is quite impressive. It is very large, very wide, and I think it looks fantastic. You have guns on each side. These are the ship's blasters, and underneath each of them are spring-loaded shooters here and here. I've already removed the blaster bolts, which I will explain why in a few minutes. There is no landing gear as well on the bottom. It just sits down on your surface, which I don't think it needed landing gear. I think it looks good. We'll go ahead and we'll move the wings down so we can start looking at the interior a bit. Or actually, before the interior, on the back here, we have what are our 2 thrusters here and here with a translucent blue pieces. And you also have kind of these, I guess, covers for the ship. I'm not sure what purpose these serve. I think they look nice. The stickers they use for them look good. But again, I don't know what purpose they would serve other than maybe cutting off the engine somehow. You have 2 pieces here to represent the kind of mini turrets on the back, as well as the gunner's position right here in this translucent red piece. That is where the gunner would sit in the ship to use this back turret. We'll go ahead and we'll move these wings down to look at the interior. The front does open up, but it can really only get to there. But that is why they have the entire thing able to open up just like this. The whole fin opens up and kind of leans back. And this is your interior. You have room for 2 figures in the cockpit. You have 1 printed control panel. And then here in the back, you have room for another 2 minifigures down there. You have 2 kind of stickers right here, one with a clone trooper helmet and one with some ships right there. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus. There it is. Some nice ships on the sticker. I do not know what the stickers translate to, but I know there are some people that have figured that out. Right here you have a clip for weapons, and it also opens up to be a little storage unit. So we'll see if I can get my camera in there. And this little box does come out, and you can put some blasters in there, which I'll show off in a minute. Next, we will go ahead and get our minifigures in here. We will grab our figures, start removing the accessories, and start getting them in. Hunter and Echo can fit in the cockpit pretty easily. So we'll put Hunter in the front. We will put Echo in the second seat. And it is a little difficult to get Tech and Wrecker in the back, but I will still get them in there to show them off. I will say you can also fit all of the blasters and knives kind of in the back with them, but it is very, very cramped here in the back. There's room for them, but it is, again, a very tight fit, which is why a lot of people wished that they'd beefed up the set a bit more, so that way you could include more in there. Because one character we are missing is Gonky. He does not fit anywhere in here, which is a little disappointing. Again, I feel like a broken clock repeating myself, but having a bigger ship with more room for our figures, I think would have been great. I'm glad you can fit 4 of them in there, and again, you can fit all the blasters kind of in this little container, which I'm not going to fit them in now, but you can fit them all in there, or just kind of what I've done on occasion while this set is displayed, just kind of drop them in. There's plenty of room to just kind of fit your extra pieces throughout the shuttle like that, but I know a lot of people wouldn't want to do that. That might just be me. Now, one thing that would be important when quote-unquote playing with the set for kids is what's known as swooshability, which is just how does the ship handle being played with and what is a good way to hold it and kind of swing it around. You are going to want to grab it from the back here. We'll open up the wings. One place you would want to grab it would be this top fin here to kind of hold it, but this does not kind of latch in any solid way. If you want to grab it from the top, it will simply open up, which is too bad, but that means that you want to grab it from the bottom, right? You would just put your hands right here to hold on to it. Swooshability like this is very nice. Let's get my camera up here a bit to show that a bit better. Just kind of, it's very nice to hold like this. It's very easy. Now, the one issue is those 2 spring-loaded shooters I mentioned earlier. We will take one of our bolts and just put it in. Now, they put these upside down, so that way you just have to push up on the bolt to launch it. Now, the problem is, this is exactly where your hand is to hold it. That is where your bolt is, same on the other side. So as you're holding it, it's very easy to launch. And that has always been annoying for me. Whenever I go to pick this up to show it off or talk about it, the bolts will just launch, which is why I prefer to either grab it from a weird angle, like maybe from the side, one of the wings. But even then, you're likely still going to launch one of those bolts, which it's very annoying. I wish they had found a different way to incorporate the launchers, but I'm still glad for the kids that got this set that they have a way to shoot those, because I know that that's important for kids. Not as important for an adult collector like myself, but it still works. It's just not quite the best way they could have incorporated. So I will say that this set is not perfect. The figures all could use maybe the little adjustments of their backpacks, and the Bad Batch shuttle could have been definitely a bit bigger to include more figures in that space. And this set is also missing a major character of the show, Omega. She came in another set, and that is a little unfortunate that they weren't able to fit technically all the main cast members into one set. However, this set is the only set where you can get an Echo minifigure, Wrecker, Crosshair, and Tech. All 4 of these figures are exclusive. I believe there is another set that comes with the Hunter minifigure. And for the price, for $100, you're getting 6 characters, two nice, unique speeder builds. Two nice, unique speeder builds and a pretty decent ship build that will stand out in your collection. And once again, given that all of these figures are unique, you can't really get them anywhere else, it was definitely a must-have for me. I believe this set, new in box, goes for around $150 on the secondhand market. And if they don't end up making more Bad Batch sets in the future, I would say that this is definitely worth picking up if you missed out when it first came out. I'm definitely a big fan, and I'm excited to watch the Bad Batch finale later today. I haven't been able to get to it yet. I had to run to the Lego store this morning to get my May 4th purchases, but I am very excited to watch the show. I believe the Bad Batch has been a fantastic show, and I'm very excited to see what they do next. I hope there's a way that they can do more with these characters. So, just to wrap it all up, thank you once again for joining me in Hunter's Lego Room, and I will see you all in the next video.